Coochie come time.
Coffee! Coffee!
Where you at? Where you at?
Coffee! Coffee!
Where you at? Where you at?
Wednesdays, starting November 2nd at noon.
Cheryl, please, let me tell my friends. Come on. I've kept this secret for so long.
And you've done a great job keeping the secret. It is, we're almost ready. We almost got everything lined up. I'm so ready, so excited to do this video cast.
You don't understand. I can barely keep Christmas presents a secret. How am I keeping this a secret any longer? I can't do it. I have to tell my friends.
You just got to keep it secret a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer until the timing is absolutely perfectly right.
Oh, Cheryl.
Happy Hump Day, Neuter, Coffee, Coochies, Conversation, Friends and Fans. I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Kelly.
Welcome to Wednesday Hump Day at Done Right TV here in Davenport. We have a special guest with us here today. I'm super excited to introduce to you a new author. He's from zooming in with us from a anonymous location in Illinois, from a farm. His name is Kurt Modis. Did I get it right?
Modis. Modis.
Like modest.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Most people say Motaz, so I mean either or, but Modis is how we pronounce it down here in the frozen tundra of Fulton County.
Well, and I know you well enough to appreciate the pronunciation of being modest, because I don't think that you would be here if I had not contacted you and asked you to share what you have going on with that new book that is sitting in front of you.
No, I didn't. I didn't even know what you had going on. But the other day, on one of my Facebook posts I made about the book, I happened to see this podcast come up as a like, and I thought, well, who is that? Because it wasn't friends of them or anything, and so I did a little search, and I happened to see you guys' picture on there. And I'm like, well, it didn't dawn on me. I just thought, well, you got another page and you liked what I had and whatnot. But so anyway, yeah, here we are.
So you did a little trolling of the Coochies?
Yeah, I had to figure out who names their
Poor
podcast
guy.
that.
And we didn't, we didn't scare you off.
I had to check it out. I mean, come on.
Right.
That's the whole idea. That's perfect. And that's how I felt when I saw your book. And I saw the title of your book. I thought, I have to check this out. Thank you, Kelly.
Got to check it out.
I have kids, and I'm a big book person. Christmas, when they were little, every Christmas, they got a new book. Birthdays, they got a book with a note from mom inside about this past year. Big book person. And so, of course, I was drawn to this. And if you know me, you know I'm a kid at heart as well. So I'm going to let you tell us the name of the book.
Okay. Well, it's called Benji and Dapaw's Big Tractor Pull Adventure. And Benji is my grandson, and I am Dapaw. That's what Benny called me since he was like old enough to make words. It was probably one of his first words. And he used to whisper it. He used to say, Dappa, Dappa. And he says it real quick. He still says it real quick, but he's a little louder about it. And he's just always called me that. Well, this story basically took place. It's a true story, and it took place of a little trip we took last year to Louisville, Kentucky, to the National Farm Machinery Show Championship. The tractor pull is what they call it, but it's big indoor tractor pull down in Louisville. And I try to go every year for a couple of days. And since he was about 1.5, 2 years old, I started showing him tractor pulls on YouTube, and he really liked it. He'd get up right to the TV and rev up, he'd make noises, and he liked the tractors I'd give to him. And so we just kind of made it a thing. I took him to a local tractor pull when he was about 3, and man, he really liked it. And so then I just started branching him out to the big leagues, and we went to Louisville. I think that was the second time of going, but he was pretty itty bitty when we went the first time. And me and him went down, and basically the book starts from the minute I'd pick him up to the minute the tractor pulls over. And it's just kind of little instances of things that we did along our way. It talks about the tractor pull, talks about the tractors, talks about the hotel, where we ate, and yada yada yada. I don't want to say too much, but it's a true story. It's based on a real kid, and Benji is what I've always called him, Benjamin, and he's just such a perfect little kid. He's just a perfect little kid right now, and he's 5 now, but um, I love him to death, and I what better way to salute someone who deserves it is to write a book about him, I guess.
Aw.
And isn't that the truth? The
Yeah.
Fantastic Fives you've entered into with him, and a boy's imagination to me is so awesome. So when you left the tractor pull or went to the tractor pull, did you know you were going to be documenting it in this way?
Not really. A friend of mine, which is actually in the book, her name is Anna. She was a photographer. She's a very good. Anna Galloway is her name. She's a very good photographer, the best in the business. And I followed her on Facebook. Well, I didn't really know her, but I sent her a message. I said, "Hey, I'm coming down with my grandson. Would there be any way I can meet you in the pits? They got a separate building where they stage the tractors." I said, "Could you take our pictures?" Oh, absolutely. I'll take your pictures because I wanted something to document our trip. And so we meet down there, and we kind of had to rush because they were getting ready to close the doors for the afternoon session. So we only had like 20 minutes by the time she got there and we met up. So we quick crank. Of course, it don't take long, take a bunch of pictures in a short amount of time. So we crank some pictures out. And as we're doing it, the way Ben was acting, and he was just so good, and everything was just going so well that it was just one of those instances. I'm like, this is almost like it's developing its own story just by the things he was doing and things he was saying and what he would act like and what he wanted to do, and it just kind of I don't remember telling myself at one point, uh I need to jot this down to make a story. It just kind of like clicked. It was just like I could write a book about this, and that's how it started. And I actually wrote this thing in probably a day and a half, taking trips back and forth to the grain elevator. My mind, you got nothing but time when you're driving a semi, and so my mind just kept thinking of different things. And so every time I'd get a thought, I started at the beginning from the minute I picked him up, jotted it down on my iPhone notebook thing, and got to the elevator, made another paragraph. And with a kid's book, it's not exactly a encyclopedia, so I mean, you don't have to come up with a whole lot of words, but I put it all together in about a day and a half, about 2 days, and then that would have been about March. And then really about the first time I found an illustrator, which he's out of Iowa City. His name is
Ah,
Tim Reed.
all right, local
Um,
guy. That's cool.
I got with him. I didn't know anything about him. He was a suggestion from someone else. So I called him up and we discussed it and we talked price and this, that, and the other. And he said, well, realistically, it's probably going to be fall before this thing can be done. And he was right. So I had the book laid out how I wanted it to read. So he basically put my words, he did the drawings. And as the book flowed, he would email me a page at a time, a drawing in your words, a drawing in your words. And he wanted me to edit it as we go. So we did the best we could there. And he pretty much hit a home run with all the pictures right out of the gate. There was only a few things I made suggestions on changing. And other than that, like there was little things like take, for example, here, you probably can't see it, but there's a throttle, a pulling tractor has a hand throttle and he didn't have that. Both guys, the hands were on the steering wheel like you're driving a car. I'm like, well, that's not realistic. So, hey, Tim, go ahead and throw that throttle in there, put his right hand on the throttle arm. So, okay, so that's what he did. I wanted this book to be as realistic as real life could be because I I'm tired of the fantasy. I'm tired of goofiness. I wanted to put something together that a little kid could see. And when he goes to the tractor pull, he can say, oh, those look like my book, you know? And so I developed this book and it's pretty dang realistic because it's a true story, and I'm actually considering writing another one, maybe 3 to 5 more if this thing keeps growing legs and I get an outlet to distribute them. And right now, there's a couple pretty good resources that's got them in their hands, and I'm just waiting on them to make decisions. And if those things come together, you could very well see another book out of me before the summer's over. So,
That would be
um,
awesome. So you did all of this in 2022, is that right?
yeah, yep.
And I'm to under,
Started basically March of 2022, and then the book actually started forming in about April 2022.
but it sounds like you didn't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it so much as you just spent actually doing it.
No, I kind of come up with a rough idea on the name in my head, and then I changed it around a few times. And then once I got the name, then it just kind of started writing itself. I don't remember what the first option was on the name, but it was Benji and Dappa, and or Dappa and Benji. I think I had Dappa and Benji, and then I'm like, no, Benji needs to be first. Benji, because Benji's a cute name. It's a jumps off the page at you. So
You know, he's a
I
cute
did
boy.
that, and he is a cute boy, yeah. And in the back, actually, in the back of the book, this is just a little mock-up deal, but here's an actual book. Let me show you, see if I can get it on camera. In the back of the book, we put real pictures of me and Ben. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's awesome.
Anyway, there's
I love it.
real pictures there of us that day. And just I wanted everybody to realize it's not some fake kid. It's actually a real kid, and he's a sweet little boy, and I kind of want to try to develop an empire for him someday. Maybe this will be it, maybe it won't, but at least he's got a book behind him.
He has his book. That's exactly right. And he will always have those bragging rights. You self-publish, so where can people find the book if they're looking to buy it for the
So
Benjis in
right
their
now,
lives?
it's on Amazon. You go to Amazon, search my name, Kurt Mottaz, Curtmottaz, or you can just enter the title, Benji and Dapaw's Big Tractor Pull Adventure. It should come right up on the top of the page, and that's in the Amazon search for the item. Um, I don't know. I can hold that. Can you see that okay?
Yes, yes. Plus
Okay.
behind you, we have it behind you where you can see it really
Oh
well
yeah,
too.
yeah, behind me.
Um,
So then it's on Amazon, but actually I have a stock of books here where I live, so I've been shipping them out here through the mail, and I rather would do that because then I have a little more touch with who's ordering them. Not that I'm trying to say, oh, you're from here, you're from there. I'm just,
so if Kelly
it's
wants to
more
order a book,
contact.
what's the best way for her to do it?
Well, you can just go ahead and put my email up or my phone number, however you want to post it. But I would say just go with my phone number, which is area code 309-231-7951. Uh, and just send me a text, call me. I don't know. And make sure you leave a message. If I don't answer, like I say, I drive a truck. So, I may not answer every one of them that comes in, but definitely send a text message to confirm, because you know how it is, junk mail these days. You just get so many junk phone calls and that are local. So you might answer a phone as somebody from Ireland or something. So, yeah, so 309-231-7951 is my phone number. My email is, I'll just spell it out. It is MOTAZ82@outlook.com. Send me an email with your request, or just go to Amazon and search the book. I don't have a Facebook page built for this yet. Everything's just kind of exploding all at once. So I'm not prepared, and I'm not very techy. So I'm kind of slow to pull the trigger on that. But my personal Facebook page, Kurt, Curt Mottaz, Mottaz. Look me up. You guys, I'm sure, will tag me in this
Yes.
post anyway, so people can go to that page, send me a message on that. Yeah, I'm not afraid. I mean, just go ahead and message me and join my page or whatever, because I'm pretty certain I'm going to do another one, and I'd really like to keep this thing rolling while it's growing legs.
Well, and I know too, if Kelly wanted to drive a little bit, you've got something going on, an event where you're going to be at and signing
Yeah.
books.
So coming up. I think it's March 4th and 5th in Macomb at Western Illinois University campus, which I think would be near the, I don't know what part of the, I'm assuming it's like the gymnasium area, but I'm not for sure on that. Just it's the ag show that they have every year. I think they call it Ag Mech Expo or something like that, but it's at Western in Macomb, and it's a pretty big deal. It's like the 51st year that they've done this, so it's a pretty predominant show. And I'm going to be set up down there in like the craft area. Well, the lady that runs the show, I emailed her. I paid for my spot, got confirmation. I didn't hear anything back from anybody, and I'm like, I'd really like to touch base with somebody and just make sure everything's up and up. So I sent an email. I got an email for the lady that coordinates it, and I sent her an email. She emailed me a day later, and she was excited about this. She's like, please send me your artwork because I want to put this on our social media. I want to use this to help promote our show. And so she did, and I got a phone call or a message from the newspaper Agri News, which is a big deal in the Midwest. Agri News is all over. They go to Iowa,
them.
Illinois,
Yep, I watch
Missouri, Kentucky. So anyway, they're doing an article for their newspaper and their internet, their internet stream, or the internet,
Yes.
the article on the internet, I'll
Got
say,
it.
on their website. So they're going to do that. I think she's releasing it next. It'll be in next week's issue. I don't know how often they come out with a new paper, but I remember growing up on the farm, Dad always had Agri News coming in. So, it was just kind of always a household thing. But yeah, so that's big. That reaches a lot of people, and it's going to be sold. There's two places this book's going to be sold. This weekend in Indiana at an indoor tractor pull, Shipashawana, Indiana. They have a great big indoor tractor pull, and it's going to be sold at the Beer Money Pulling Team merchandise tent. I sent a box of books up to them. They wanted to see if they could move them, and in Louisville at the farm show, Heritage Iron Magazine has a booth down there, and it's like a old farm magazine. And I've been in contact with them a couple weeks ago, and they wanted to buy a box of books and get it into their system, and then take them down to Louisville. And everybody's excited about this. Primarily women, because a lot of women can relate to little kids and books and so on and so forth. And then once they see this, it's like, this is great, and because it's one of a kind. There's never been a tractor pull kids book done. There's been tractor pulling books done with real photography, but not an illustrated, not to my knowledge. And I grew up around tractor pulling, so had I seen a book like this at the book fair, I'd have been stoked. I'd have grabbed it.
Really, you think about it, exactly. And you're a what generation farmer? Third?
Well, my family, I grew up on a farm, but my dad no longer farms. And so I've always kind of toyed around in agriculture, working for farmers here and there. And I kind of settled in with a really good outfit over here in near Marietta, Illinois, and been driving one of their trucks for the last 3 years, and work on the farm during the spring and the fall, and haul grain all winter. It's steady deal. And actually, I live down here on the farm, so this is pretty much my residence now. And but I'm originally from around Brimfield, Illinois. I graduated from Brimfield High School, and yeah, just kind of, there's hours of conversation I could have about things I've seen and done, but we're not going to do that because we're talking about this book. But yeah.
The connection then to Revolution Coffee Company comes in that way too, because that's why I said to Kelly, look what he has on his table. And I didn't ask you, I didn't say nothing. That's all you.
That was all me. And the only reason I saw it was because as I was getting ready to load the truck before I parked it to come in here to do this, I just happened to get on your Facebook page there, and I was thumbing through the videos, and I clicked on it, and I'm like, that looks a lot like the coffee company. And so I looked at it a little harder, and sure enough, and which makes sense. Kewanee, you guys aren't that far from Kewanee. So I'm like, it's small world, and good. Anthony's a great dude. You know, he's an entrepreneur and kind of just I like following what he's doing because he's first class. Not only that, I mean, there ain't a better coffee out there. I mean, I don't use cream, sugar, nothing. I don't use nothing in it. I just drink it black and don't need to, you know.
I don't know
So
if you've watched us here, but we do. You'll see us tipping the cup to get every
yeah,
drop. We don't pour out
yeah.
coffee because it's that good. It really honestly is that good.
I don't
So
want to gross anybody out, but you know, you make a pot of coffee, you might drink half, three quarters of it. And there might be another cup or two left in the pot. Well, after I shut it down, I'll come back in that afternoon. Heck, it might sit in the pot for a day or two, and I'll get back in it, throw it in the microwave, and drink it. It doesn't bother me a bit.
that's
It's
what
that
they
good.
call
So,
truck driver coffee, in which case, Anthony, you can come up with an entire blend of really strong
oh,
oil coffee for truck
three
drivers.
days, 3 days of Revolution coffee in my cold coffee pot is way better than anything that can be bought at a truck stop. I can promise you that. It's like acid, hot acid in a cup is what you buy from those places. So I don't even buy coffee on the road.
Well, and it shows too just the people you associate with. And so, like you said with Anthony, he's an entrepreneur. And so with you, you
Mm-hmm.
took an adventure, an experience, and you made a
Yep.
book
Yep.
that is going to be
Yep.
here long past, your grandson's grandson can be
Yep.
reading that
Yep.
book one day.
And I would have never dreamed I'd have done this in my life. I was a C plus student at best, you know, and I had very little interest in school. Wasn't my thing. I'll put it to you that way. And so I had never dreamed in my life that I'd have wrote a book, period, let alone a children's book. But I guess I can relate to kids more than adults sometimes. But it all just flowed. It all and it was I shouldn't say easy. It cost a lot of money and it took time, but it all put together. It would all put itself together. Like everything worked. And anything I've ever done with like racetrack promoting or jobs or anything or writing books, anything I've ever done that just happens to snap, everything goes together like that. It was meant to be. And when you got to fight it, sometimes it isn't going to work out. And this thing flowed. This thing went perfect, and it's gaining ground. And it's who knows where it'll end up 6 weeks from now. You know, month, six
I'm
months.
a
I don't know, but
I'm a big believer when it's easy, it's meant to be. And yes, that flow. Have we
yeah,
heard that word
yeah,
before, Kelly? I think one of our first episodes, we spent second episode a lot of time talking about just going with the flow.
Yeah.
And
yeah. That's right.
Kelly has been quiet because she didn't really know about you, and I couldn't send her to a page. So I don't know. Do you have any questions for him? I did ask him to read a little bit of the book for us, but do you have anything?
I don't have any questions. No, I think it's really cool. I was a camp counselor for 4 summers, and I've always been a big kid person. I don't know. I went to school originally to be a kindergarten teacher. Funny. So I think it's cool that you did that, and definitely, I think you should definitely do a second one for sure.
Yeah, I will. And I think I'm going to give a little never heard before today. So I believe my second book will be called. Uh, do you want me to
Exclusive.
stop?
No,
Oh,
exclusive.
okay.
Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
okay. So I think my second book, I think the title is going to be Benji and Dapaw's Big Trucking Adventure. And I
Love it.
think I'm going to keep that Benji and Dapaw's adventure. That's always going to stay. And then whatever we do will be in the middle. So they'll always kind of have that look, but they'll be different. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
want to create a brand. I want to create a Benji and Dapaw brand or some
Trade
kind of a comfort zone, like Berenstein Bears. I remember when I was a kid, I used to read Berenstein Bear books in the library. You know, it was
trademark it
Berenstein
now.
Bears. Yeah, it
Trademark
was
it
good.
now.
Yeah, yeah. So I need to get a hold. You know any good trademark lawyers I can get a hold of?
Calling trademark lawyers now, and he's already given his email and his phone number. That it would be a good time for you to get that done because, like, as you
Yeah,
said, it is taken on a life of its own. It's growing legs and it's gaining momentum.
yeah.
Uh,
And once it gets out, once this one gets out, it might take a year or so before it kind of sees any results. But the good thing about this is there's no expiration date. It can sit on the shelf for 10 years and be just fine, providing there's no leaks in the store.
I can
So,
I can
Yeah,
see
it's
it
good
in the
news.
scholastic book. You know, those that come
Yeah.
home from school with the
Yeah,
kids,
I would
and they've
love to
got,
get
I
it
can
in
see
there.
it in there, and I can
I
see
would
it.
love to get it in there.
Yeah, I can see people buying it. Scholastic, are you listening? Bueller, Scholastic, Bueller, are you listening?
Tractor Supply is looking currently. They're the lady that sells to them or that handles the merchandise with the books and the magazines. Contacted her last week, and she demanded 2 copies. She's excited to get them. She loved the cover. She wants to get them, and she's going to send them on to her editor in New York City of that publishing company that they deal with. And don't know where that's going to go, but Tractor Supply, there's like 5,000 locations there. If I could get 5 books in each one of those locations, well, I'd be in
Well,
good shape.
well, and I mentioned
So
Cracker Barrel. I can see walking into a Cracker
Cracker Barrel, yeah,
Barrel
that's
and
a good
it
idea,
being
and I
like
need to get on that too.
a place, you know, you want to entertain your kids a little bit while they're waiting for the food. So you do tend to look for something, especially when you're traveling, is when you're going to Cracker Barrel. So I can
Yeah,
definitely see
any
it in
any
there.
gimmick shop or gift shop or anything like that, and I got to really buckle down and do a search because right now in my mind I'm thinking agriculture, I'm thinking ag stores, and I'm thinking, and I don't even know if there's any way to get a way to get to John Deere, but I mean obviously you can look at this cover and see it's not John Deere green, but it's a shade of green, and it could easily be turned into John Deere green with the right trademark
Permissions,
endorsements and
yes.
permissions, and possibly offered at all John Deere dealers or exclusively at John Deere dealers. There's ways we could make things happen. So
If you're going to
uh,
dream, dream big.
that's right. Go big. Hey, they're normal people too. They go to work just like we do. So
Well,
got to
and
catch their attention.
we are in John Deere land, so it could happen. Stranger things have happened, so I wouldn't be surprised. So I would like
Well,
for
that'd be
you to
cool.
give us a little tease from the book, read a page or two. I'm not sure exactly. Uh,
What I'll do is I'll read the back of the book first, and that'll give you the summary of kind of what's going on. So,
Thank you.
the back of the book, it's start. Now, forgive me, I'm a better writer than I am a reader. So, starts like this. Here it says, Benji has grown up going to tractor pulls with his Dappa since he was old enough to walk. Join Benji and his Dappa on their adventure to the big tractor pull. As you read this true story, you will wonder what Benji and Dappa will do next. So that's kind of the what do they call that? Preface or what? I don't know what they call that on the back of a book, but summary. And actually, my sister, Brenda Modest Passmore, she wrote that for me because I wanted her to have something to do with this book. And I said, hey, Brenda, come up with a little summary, because she knew what was going on with the book and stuff. And I said, come up with a little summary. I said, I'm kind of drawing a blank. I can't, I'd done all this and I was kind of exhausted at that point. And I was just like, just come up with something catchy. So she did, and we went with it. And so she had her little part in that. And the editors for my book are Krista Waller and Jennifer Waller, and they are the wives of the people I work for.
Oh,
So they're local women, and they're both school teachers, and it's just kind of like a little tight knit deal, just helping me out, and they love the idea, they love the concept, and they grew with it. So anyway, I'll go ahead and open up to the first page. I don't want to read too much, but I'll go ahead and display some of the artwork in it. I don't know if you can see that very well, but
yes, it
can you
looks
see
good.
Benji in there talking on the
Yes.
phone? Okay. So it starts out like this. One winter Saturday morning, while playing with his toy tractors, Benji heard the telephone ring. Benji sprung up to answer it. Hello? Answered Benji.
Oh, no. No, no, no. No, seriously? No. Oh, no. I'm going to assume we're still on. We are. Oh, you guys, we lost him right at the good spot. Isn't that how things work, though? Right? I mean, you wake up in the middle of a
Hello?
really good dream.
Hello?
We lost you right when it was getting good. I mean,
It was
it was
getting good.
it was
It was
like when
getting
you're
good.
having a
Okay.
dream that's really good one you don't want to get woke up from and the phone rings. We were there.
Well, it said Are we live again now? Are we good?
We are good. We are. So keep going.
Okay,
Please start from the
good
beginning.
deal. Well, it did say on my end, it says your free meeting has concluded. So apparently I need to put some quarters in a slot somewhere. I don't know.
I didn't bring my quarters.
So, so anyway, here, I'll start over where we were. So one winter Saturday morning, while playing with his toy tractors, Benji heard the telephone ring. Benji sprung up to answer it. Hello? Answered Benji. Benji, this is Dapaw. Do you want to go to the big tractor pull? Benji's grandfather asked. Benji's eyes lit up. He started giggling, hopping up and down with joy, and said, Yup, when is it? And if you know Benji, that's how he would respond. Yup. And it's next weekend, Dapaw replied. So he's on the phone talking to Dapaw with tractors on his mind. I'll read you to the next page. For the next week, Benji dreamed about going to the big tractor pull. He played and played with his toy tractors, revving their engines, spinning their tires, and pretending to drive the most awesome tractor at the pull. He even took his toy tractors to school and told all his friends what him and his Dapaw were going to do that weekend. And then the next page, goes on to that. He's at school, bragging about his tractors and what he's going to do. So then it goes on, and I'll just kind of skip to the middle here and show you, where we get to the show. Oh, actually, fast forward about halfway through, we ended up making it to our favorite breakfast spot. I don't know if you can see that.
I see Waffle House in the background.
Waffle House blocks, but technically we've legally not in any trouble for that because we blocked out enough. So,
no
anyway,
trademarks.
Waffle House is a common place when you go to Louisville to eat at. I don't know, it's where I go to eat. And it just goes through, just things we did at the tractor pull. And the next page, we're, doing the national anthem, and tractor catches on fire.
Oh.
Things we eat, and ice cream and popcorn, and the ride out of there.
Excitement,
and it's got a little
food.
Coloring page at the back that people could either make copies of or just color in it, but they can make copies of it and practice their artwork. So
that really
$11.99
cool.
on Amazon.
It really is cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The artwork cool. Again is fabulous. And you said that's Tim Reed out of Iowa City was your
Tim
illustrator?
Reed. Yep, Iowa City. Yep, Tim Reed on Facebook. I cannot remember what his actual business. I think it's just Tim Reed. Yeah, if you find Tim Reed out of Iowa City, you can find him the rest of the way. But he actually set this deal up. He's familiar with writing books and or doing illustrations of kids' books and uploading them to Amazon to sell. And in the first month on Amazon, of course, a lot of the people I know bought them. But in the first month, I sold almost 300 books. And now I know that's not going to be a thing, but every month. But it was exciting because I can watch the stats on my phone, and sold another book, and I don't touch them, it just happens. But I actually like doing them myself because I make a few more dollars per copy when I sell them myself. So if anybody wants to buy one, you can go to Amazon or you can get a hold of me, and I'll ship you. I'll even sign it for you. So that's the plus of going through me. It'll be autographed. So
no extra charge.
If it's okay with you, I would like to do a giveaway on your show. So I will go ahead and sign a copy right here live on air. This is a one-of-a-kind copy. And you guys decide how you want to give it away. And I'm going to go ahead and sign it. What's today? What's the date?
I have to think. It is
11th.
January. That sounds right.
1/11.
1/11. Thank you for knowing that.
2023, I think.
It is 1/11 of 2023. Perfect.
So that's your copy right there. I will mail it up and you give it away to one of your lucky listeners or viewers. So
I'm liking that. That's really awesome. Thank you. And you are an awesome guest. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I know you stopped driving the truck to spend time talking to us, and I really appreciate it. Benji,
well, I appreciate you getting a hold of me.
Benji has an awesome grandpa. Now, I'm curious. when you go and do these book signings, do you need security? Kelly and I might be able to stand in there,
Well,
some of those
I
moms.
don't know. I don't know. The mothers have trouble controlling themselves sometimes, so I don't know.
This is what I'm saying. Kelly and I, if you need us, just let us know. There's also, we have a Western Illinois University up here in the Quad Cities, so maybe they'll bring
Yeah,
you
I did
up
see
here
that.
for
I
something.
guess I didn't realize that. Is it just like a small remote area, or is it a pretty good campus?
It's a pretty good campus, but it's a remote.
Is it
And
really?
It's a really good
Huh.
campus, actually. So, yeah.
Where is it located? Where's it located?
It's on the other side. It's on your side, the Illinois, obviously.
Is it?
Duh.
Yeah.
Western
Yeah.
Illinois. They brought it
Yeah.
over to the bridge. That was my
Tax breaks.
you said that, not me. Anything else you want to get in, Kelly, before? Because I know we said an hour, and now we're running at about, or 30 minutes. We're running at about 35. So I don't want to keep you much longer. I know you have to go.
I got a few more minutes, but if you got a few more questions, we'll do it. If not, it's up to you. But yeah, I want to first thank you very much, and actually, I want to give a few minutes to how I met you. I happened to be promoting a couple comedy shows for a pretty famous comedian in the area, Donnie Baker, and I put a show on up in Sterling. And I don't remember, did you go to any other, or was a Sterling
It was the
show the
Sterling one
you
I went to. Yes.
Yeah, and that's how we actually met. And so it's funny how it all full circle here,
Which I've talked to Donnie Baker, the bastard maker, about being on this show. And
did you gonna do it?
we're talking about it. I want to line it up to when he's doing shows locally. That makes sense. And whether he does a Zoom in like you or comes in live. I'm afraid if he came in live, he tried to lick Kelly from one side to the other.
What? No.
You got to know Donnie Baker to know, and you won't mind. He's Donnie Baker.
He carries 9 pounds of pork. So
he is.
This is a kid's show.
Well, today is a kid's show. Typically, we talk dirty. Today, we just talked a little bit of dirt. But yeah, Donnie Baker's on my list of guests that I would love to have him come on. And future guests we have the promoters of Tailgates and Tall Boys, and they actually have Chelsea Lynn hosting their events this summer.
Well, they had her last year, I think, didn't they?
I
think she was there last year too.
Did she just do like Peoria or Taylorville?
The Bloomington one, when they had it at the Interstate Center, I think.
Because now she's doing several of the locations, including the new one in Clinton, Iowa. Yeah, and I think that's
so. She just
awesome.
like greet the crowd. Do they greet the crowd?
She is hosting it. She is hosting it. They have a comedian hosting it, and I am so much into that. I think that is just awesome that they're doing that.
Well, that's what Elvis did. Elvis had a comedian open for him.
And she goes by, if you don't know who she is, Chelsea Lynn is Trailer Trash Tammy, right?
Tammy.
Trailer Trash Tammy, and you'll see her. That's how I got to know her, was with Donnie Baker, and he's fabulous. So yeah, hopefully I can connect with him, and we can get either Zoom him in or bring him in here. But yeah, that's how.
Well, I know he comes to Dubuque quite a bit up there. I don't know if there's a comedy club up there, but or the Moose. I don't know what
he does. The casino, and also the jukebox in Peoria. And so I started this in November, and he was here like right around that time. So I want to catch him his next swing through, something like that. And those people that don't know about Donnie Baker can learn about Donnie Baker through us.
Well, doesn't Bob and Tom, don't they play in the Quad Cities?
Oh, no, they're indie.
Yeah, but I mean, aren't they broadcasted in the Quad Cities, or no?
Sure, you can find them on
radio
the radio
station.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What channel is that? 96.9 or what is that?
I'm not positive because I'm going to stream them on the internet. I do that now.
Yeah. That's changed everything, though. I mean, it's just changed everything. It really has.
Finally in the 21st century. So yeah, I've been binge streaming quite a bit because I just got on that. Which one thing I want to talk about, and if you're okay hanging out for a minute, if not, I understand. We have something going on here with Fox and our Dish networks, and Fox is having a contract dispute with Dish, which means people here locally who have Dish Network are not able to watch their Fox. But through Done Right TV, which is where we are doing this, people can get an antenna, they can get it installed, and that antenna will service 2 TVs in their home for only $300. And that was a little mini infomercial, but there are people, legitimately like their Fox station, like their Fox channel, the news or the television shows, and now they're not able to watch
Is that
it.
a one-time fee?
It is, and I have been running on a digital antenna only for the last, I want to say, 12 years or so. I just got internet this last month. So, but I still have that antenna. It's not going to go away, and that was one of my
Would that
things.
work in businesses as well? Because I know that a lot of businesses are losing customers Sundays because they can't watch the football games.
Sonny can answer this question. Is it $300 for a business to get 2 TVs and an antenna? Because $300 includes the antenna installation and coverage for 2 TVs is what Misty. So even a business can get a hold. So the number to get a hold of Kelly or Done Right, 563-355-7490 is Done Right. Kelly, you're going to give out your number?
563-400-3806.
And
I saw that on a bathroom stall somewhere. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No, it's a new number
Kid show,
anyway,
kid
so it
show.
wouldn't have been mine. No, I'm just kidding.
and that was so much better than what I was going to say. So thank you. That was perfect. And one other thing I want to let you know, if you get up here, we have some friends. They opened a restaurant in Rock Island, and they were here the end of December. The restaurant is called The Dirty Shirley. So again, there we go with the dirt. It's kind of got your name on it.
What are their hours?
Well, they're pretty good hours. I mean, they're normal. They don't serve breakfast.
Supper hours?
Yes,
Supper
they do not
hours?
serve breakfast. But they are starting something January 15th on the Sunday, I believe. Double check my calendar, but they are doing brunch.
Oh, yeah.
And their brunch includes mimosas, Bloody Marys, and the coffee, but it also includes your standards, your bacon, your sausage, all those good farm things, because we all know no farms, no food.
Well, it works.
And
no chicken and no egg,
Oh, and the price of we're going to talk about that again here soon. The price of eggs. I'm ready to buy stock in chickens.
It's just a stunt. I think it was just like the toilet paper instance. They're just picking out a household favorite and using it as a stunt.
They're getting me.
That's another subject.
They're getting me because egg is a perfect food. I eat it a lot. So they have egg casserole up there, which we had a family dinner at Christmas time, and that was the thing. You can make egg casserole as long as you do not need to take a second mortgage on your home, because I was really concerned about the person that typically brings the egg casserole, only if you don't have to take out a second mortgage. They were $5 a dozen in the store when I was in there yesterday.
Well, that's cheap compared to what I've seen some people posting, like $7, $8 in other locations. But
my friends in Alaska
now, have you seen,
are paying as much.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt this. This just come to mind. Have you been seeing the big mega storm coming for California?
Yes.
Have you been hearing about that?
Yes.
So when is that supposed to hit landfall over there?
It has, and it has been reoccurring. They're calling it the conveyor belt, because I do watch the weather, but I don't watch the news. But it is not going to, the way it's directed, it's going to head to the East Coast, and we're not going to get hit by it too bad. You might where you are, but the Quad Cities, we're just going to get some rain, I think, Thursday. Mm-hmm. So that's
I'm not that far south of you.
You're right. You really aren't that far at all. So you know where to go. You know how to find us. We're not far from the fairgrounds and the racetrack, but I'm excited. We have future guests coming up. Not just our current guests are exciting. We have future guests coming up that are exciting. I have a friend who was all right, let me put it this way. Do you remember where you were on September 11th of 2001? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine being in a different country on September 11th of 2001? Can you imagine being in Baghdad on September 11th of 2001? Can you imagine being in Saddam Hussein's palace on September 11th of 2001? That's where our guest on the 25th of the month will be. It's where he was on September 11th of 2001. like you, self-published author. His book is just older than yours, and it has been tabled, but it's been resurrected. Just got printed in Japan, translated to Japanese, and so he's our guest on the 25th of the month. On the Let me think who else we have coming in. We have the tailgates and tailgates and tall boys. Promoter, owner, president will be zooming in or coming in on February 1st. We just have so many cool things happening. Our therapist, Brandon Cutmus, he comes in once a month. He'll be here next week and see if he can fix me and Kelly in about 30-45 minutes. This is why we have him come in once a month. We just got a lot of really cool things going on. So I'm glad you were able to spend some of your time today with us. And
I'm glad I did it. It was fun.
And got to share about your and Benji's adventures, the big tractor pull adventure. We got the exclusive on the next in the series.
Yeah, make sure you send me your mailing address. Text me your mailing address so I can get that out to you.
Will do. Again, I want to thank you for your time. Appreciate everything you're doing, and I hope to cross paths with you. Maybe you'll be up here promoting something in Davenport at the Speedway.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. You never know. We'll see.
Stranger things have happened.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if this book takes off. I may just stay recluse in my house and keep writing. Safer that way, right?
Well, and one thing I haven't said that I appreciate and love so much about this is it is that family, that community thing. You know, the tractor pulls, the farming, the racing.
Mhm.
There's a subculture of little communities of people. DeKalb County is big into the lawnmower racing. Have you ever been to a lawnmower race?
Mm-mm.
They named their lawnmowers like the big green monster.
That's cool.
I mean, seriously, and they add that ram bar to the front, and they do lawnmower pulls. There's just all these, and the horses the same way, and racing. I love these subcultures, communities of people who come together, and it's very family oriented. That's the glue right there, family. And that's why I wanted to have you on. I think not only can the moms relate, I do think the grandpas can relate.
Yeah, and we need more of that because the family culture is hurt right now, and more families need to spend more time together. And what better way to spend time together than reading by the campfire? Benji and Dapaw's Big Tractor Pull Adventure this summer.
Well,
Yes.
as you started reading, I don't know if you could tell, I wanted to pull the blanket up. I wanted to get the pillow because it is a bedtime story. You can just feel that.
And I actually just tonight we're going to get it uploaded and hopefully get it done, edited. But this past weekend, a friend of mine, Michelle Merhoff, she's from Wisconsin. I met her in Dubuque, and she's been a friend of mine for a while. And her voice is very, I don't know, I can relate to it as a kid. It's just a very soothing voice. I had her read the story. I recorded it. We're going to edit it tonight. We're going to try to get it to where it's like an audiobook.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do with it, I don't know, but I'm going to have an audio book that, like at my show, somebody buys my book, I'll offer it to them for free. I'll just say, here, leave your email and I'll email it to you. Just get my signature and an audio book, so
I think that's
it's just
something you
another
can
way to relate to
download.
people.
But I think that's something you could
Yeah.
download right on the phone. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to do
Yeah.
anything for that. But yeah, that's
Yep.
awesome. Wonderful. It is so great talking to you. Inspiring, without question. And I think that was part of my idea for this too, is you don't really know who you've inspired and may never know who you've inspired. But I feel like you've inspired us and other people who are listening. So again, appreciate
all
it.
I can say is don't. I mean, this sounds so cliche, but it's realistic, especially with this. But don't ever think you can't do it until you know you can't do it. But I never would have guessed with my school background as far as, I'm not a higher education or anything like that. I'm just kind of a middle of the road, let's get through it type of student. And I would have never dreamed I was going to write a book. And here we are. And if you got the idea and you want to do it, do it. I mean, just research, just keep digging at it till you get the results you want. And like I said, it flowed together. It came together. It almost put itself together, but I had to get the ball rolling. So, lesson of the day, once you start something and it starts to flow, keep going with it because it's going to work out.
And we're going to let you have the last word. We're going to
Oh,
finish on top and finish with a bang. And
well,
we'll let that sit in the air like that.
well, I guess I'll just leave with this. Revolution Coffee, best coffee in the world, best coffee on the market. I drink it every day. Go get it, locally owned, locally marketed, Kewanee, Illinois. And Benji and Dapaw's Big Tractor Pull Adventure. One last shout out. Great kids book. Proud of it. Going to be proud of it for the rest of my days. Look for more from me. I think there's going to be quite a few more coming. I want to develop a little series from this, and primarily going to be agricultural related, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll go shoot hoops sometime. I don't know.
I think
We'll see what
the
happens.
big train adventure would be fun too. But on that
Yeah.
note, love ya. Peace. Love. We're going to go out. Thanks, Kurt.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Sonny.